Just want to do a quick little tutorial on the kettlebell clean. Now, I know that we've covered this numerous times in the past, but it's always worth revisiting because you never know when a different cue or a different way about thinking about something is going to resonate differently, and suddenly it's going to fall into place. So let's touch on it again. The biggest problem that people have with getting the clean down is that they let the bell get too far away from the body, both on the way up and on the way down. And this is true in either the dead version, the vertical version of the clean, or the more standard swing or hip-driven version. And what I mean by this is if we look at the dead clean version, the vertical version, when it comes up, you should be right over, to start, you should be right over top of the bell. And as it comes up, you let the bell get away from the body, which means you then have to pull it back in. And then on top of that, because the momentum of the bell is out and back, that's when it creates that swing and the bang on the back of the wrist. This is true in the swing version as well, because when you hike it back, and it's almost more pronounced because it is very much like a standard single arm swing up until about here, right? And so what people will do is they'll let it get too far away, pull it, and then try and pull it back in, creating that bang on the wrist. And then in both cases, on the way down, they initiate the move by casting the bell out and away from the body, and then they have to wrangle it back in. So what that means practically is when they come up, if it's the vertical version and they let it get too far away from the body, it'll look something like this. And then when they put it down, they cast it out. And so you see it's this challenging momentum control where you've cast it out, but then you have to try and get it straight down. Or, and I do see this often enough that it's worth mentioning, in order to put it down, they pop the elbow straight up and put it down like that, which you don't want either. Don't want to initiate like this. Because the dead clean is what we use to sort of start the movement, to start learning the movement, and then we progress it and we combine it with the kettlebell swing. So if you've gotten in the habit of doing this with the clean, then that's what you're going to do when you do the swing version. And what I mean when you're doing the swing version, then people will swing it way out and then bring it back. And then you see, I got to try and control it. And when it's getting heavier, that becomes an even bigger problem. And then when they put it down, people cast it out and down. So the trick or the cue that I like people to try and think about is to keep the elbow tight to the body. Don't let it drift too far away. And in fact, on the way up, or on the upward movement of the clean, to think about driving the elbow back as the movement starts. And then on the way down, yes, you can pop it away from the body a little bit. I use the wrist for that, but the elbow doesn't move very far. So on the way up, on a dead version, I'm going to think about I'm going to think about pulling my elbow back and then knifing the hand underneath. See how smoothly that went in? And then on the way down, I'm going to keep my elbow tight to my body, but I'm not going to pop it up like a chicken wing, and I'm going to put it straight back down. Okay? Now with the swing version, if we're doing like singles, it's going to come up, but as I come to here, I'm going to pull that elbow back to keep the kettlebell close, and it's just going to slide into place. When I put it down, yes, I'm going to pop it off, but I'm not going to drive the arm way out. I'm just going to pop it off, keep the elbow tight to my body, and then pull the bell back between my legs and let it park. Okay? And as you can see, you can string it together in a series this way. You just go back and then drive the hips through to do a repetitive cycle. Okay, so with any luck, that's gonna trigger something a little bit different for different people, and maybe you'll be like, oh, okay, now I get it. Give it a try. Think about keeping that elbow tight. I know there's a lot to think about when you're doing the clean. Hopefully you've worked on your swing and the dead version. You can also do a cheat version where you use the second hand to help keep it close to the body when you're learning, right? I'm using the hand, the free hand, to guide it up and into position. And then once you've worked on the dead clean for a bit, you're learning how to do a single arm swing, put them together, and you've got your cyclical standard sort of hip-driven swing. Hope that makes sense. If you have any questions about it or anything else that you want to see, then feel free to leave a note in the comments. And other than that, as always, train smart, train hard, keep fit, have fun.